Hello everyone, welcome to Dear Love Talk. I'm James.
I'm Helena.
And it's a pleasure to know that you join us every week in this program where we clarify doubts people have regarding their relationships, and you can always get in touch.
Yes, and it couldn't be easier. All you need to do is to email us on questions@lovetalkshow.tv or also via Facebook, you said.
That's right. If you go to facebook.com/lovetalkshow, and you can send us your question through there as well. The first question comes from Jessica Lupo in London, and she says, I see a lot of my friends getting married or in committed relationships, but it seems like time is passing me by and I'm the only person who doesn't have anyone. It's really difficult to be on my own, and I'm just wondering if there's anything else I can do that could make things happen for me. Well, Jessica, I sense a little anxiety from your part. It seems like you're getting a little anxious, a little worried,
impatient.
A little impatient about the fact that you're on your own right now. And you know, the thing about being alone for a little bit is that sometimes we have this unrealistic idea that everybody in this world is dating or married and we're the only ones who are single. And this couldn't be further from the truth, right?
It's like when you are by yourself, it's like everyone else's happiness highlights your unhappiness or loneliness or whatever you want to call it.
Even though you don't have to be unhappy,
but because
you're alone.
Yeah, of course not. But many, from what I can see, I think you need to take your eyes off your friends a little bit and look at yourself. And look at yourself, because, you know, what's the point in you looking at other people's relationships? Because you don't know what happens beyond closed doors. You don't know. So look at yourself, take a really good look at yourself, how you've been, you know, behaving with people, if you've been socializing and where and with who, and what your intentions are. I mean, if you have any issues you need resolving, if you need to invest more in yourself, you need to look at yourself, and then you will see that your time will come, very quickly.
Absolutely. And the key thing here is for you not to let your anxiety, your worries, to get the better of you, because usually when people start to get worried, when they start to think that time is passing them by, that's when they make mistakes.
Oh yes, that's a good point.
It's true, think about it. It's like me playing football. I'm possibly one of the worst football players on planet Earth.
That.
You see, I have a wife who supports me.
He's actually very good. He's very, very good.
Not really, but here's the thing.
You always score.
When the ball is at your feet, and you have a player coming against you to try to take the ball from you, the worst thing you can do is panic. Because when you panic, it's a dead certain you're going to give the ball away. But when you're confident, when you
take the beating like you do, you come home with all these bruises.
A few bruises, not really a beating, but you know what I mean.
Well,
but when you're confident, you can take that man on and go forward with the ball. And in relationships, it's more or less like this. When you start to panic, when you start to think time is passing me by, then you tend to make mistakes. My advice to you is, while this time is going on where you are single for a period of time, nobody's single for the rest of their lives. It's always usually a period of time. Make the most of it. Take on a new hobby, catch up with your family, with your friends, do something you enjoy doing, because people who are happy attract other happy people. People who are miserable tend not to attract anyone.
Yes, and like you were saying, very interesting how you've put it. When you are anxious, when you are afraid, you make mistakes. And it affects your judgment. So you might find this guy who has always been there, like, hey, hello, like flirting with you, who you would not have a future with him, but there you go. You go off with that guy for some, for cinema or whatever, and then, you get yourself involved with people that are not really suitable. And also, just something quickly before we move on to another question, maybe you are still single because you were investing in some areas of your life before, but, people make choices.
Yeah.
Maybe your friends, they didn't focus so much in doing the things you were doing, or, and then they decided to invest in their relationships, in their love lives, and now they are married. So it's all about seeds. You plant a seed and then you reap.
Let's just say that being single is not a disease.
Of course not.
Okay, remember that. Being single is not a disease. You can be happily single, moving on with your life. Things will happen naturally. Don't worry. Okay, just don't panic. That's the key thing. Next question.
And the next question is from Emmanuel Frimpong, and it says, I am in a marriage that has lasted 8 years and has been good for, most part. Unfortunately, I feel the spark has been going out, and I just wanted to know if this is normal or if I should be worried. Or maybe if there is something I should be doing to bring back, the spark, to my relationship.
The spark, the famous spark.
Right. Emmanuel, what do you understand by spark? Is it butterflies in your stomach? Because let me tell you, a relationship goes through different stages. You will always love the person regardless of the stage you are in. But what do I mean by stages? You have this first thing when you see the person and you have butterflies in your stomach and you blush or you feel like your heart racing. It's like, oh my God.
It's that time when the person walks on the street and when you're in the beginning of that relationship and you walk and you have that song in your mind. Loving you, it's easy because you're beautiful. And you have this in your mind everywhere you go. You
even hear the birds and everything.
But that part, not that it disappears, but it changes a little bit.
Because then, as you get more involved with the person, you get to know the person's flaws. You still love the person, but in a different way. For example, I've been married for 14 years. And we can never get enough of each other. Our relationship gets better by the day, and this is because we have our own flaws, and now we laugh about them. We make fun of each other. It's so much fun, the contrary to what many people think. So you need to know. You are 8 years. You've been married for 8 years. Maybe you need to come up with something. Maybe you stopped doing certain things you used to do, like take her out or the respect. For example, every time, if I want something from my husband, if I want something, let's say we're having dinner, and I would like him to pass me something, I would always say, please, could you please pass me the salt? Could you please help me with the bin? Small things like this, I know many people think this is not important, but I can guarantee you that they are. So there's this little, this respect, this loving way of speaking to one another.
Sometimes people think that for the spark to stay alive, you need to,
have sex every day.
Not only that, but put rose petals on your bed. Surprise the person with a weekend away to Spain or France or whatever it is. These things are important. I think it's important to do things differently.
Yes.
The thing about routine is that there is a good side to routine, because routine means there's a good kind of routine, right? Where you consider the person every day, like you were saying, where you say thank you, where there's a solid part of the routine. It's seeing the person every day, it's being with the person every day. That's a good routine. But then there's a bad routine. If your dates are always the same, if you always say the exact same words, of course, time goes by, you have to try to do new things.
And how do you do new things? You need to observe. You need to notice your partner. For example, he did something or she did something different. You should praise her. Maybe she does many different things, but you don't notice.
Maybe she did something different with her hair.
You just scored a few points right there,
But this is how
have a point system like I have with my husband.
But this is how you keep the spark alive. It's
exactly.
It's not about doing crazy things. It's about the little things you do, but you do them often.
Yes, and for example, let me go back to the sex thing. Some couples think that because they don't are intimate every single day, that there's something wrong with their relationship. Because let me tell you something. You should be often very intimate with your partner, obviously, but after a while that you were dating the person and then you get married, reality kicks in. What do I mean by that? You might be tired after a long day of work. She might be tired, or there's things that happen. So don't think that, things are not the same anymore. No. You just need to be creative. And this is what it is to be married. And marriage is a journey.
So indeed, do different things to keep the spark alive, but think of many little things, not just one big thing. Okay?
Yes, exactly.
Final question for today says, and this is from Facebook, it says, "Hi guys, I'm completely fed up. I've been together with my boyfriend for 6 years and we have lived together for the past 4. I want to allow him to be the leader of the relationship, but I have to keep pushing him to make decisions, and in the end, I have to be the one deciding things in our daily life. This has become very frustrating and I'm not really sure of how to deal with this." Look, I think the worst thing you can do, let's talk about what you can't do. What you can't do is you can't say to him that he's a, he's a no good, good for nothing kind of man.
That he never makes decisions.
Yeah, that's what you can't do. You can't say that he doesn't know what he wants out of life, because when you start to do that, it's like you're shutting him down. So let's go to an example we had earlier in the show. I said earlier that I'm probably one of the worst football players on planet Earth, which I know I am.
He just wants me to praise him.
But she says, "No, you're not. Come on, you're really good." I know I'm not. But when you hear that, you feel better, right? So sometimes maybe that person, maybe he's a great guy. He has a great character. He cares about you. He's a person of integrity, but maybe he lacks an extra push. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what happens is that the person gets so frustrated that they say, "Look, I can't take you anymore. If you don't change this, I don't know what's going to happen to us." And that makes things worse. But when you start motivating that person on a daily basis, and when the person makes a small decision, you say, "Wow," and that's going to make the person feel more confident, because sometimes it's a matter of confidence. Mm-hmm. That will make the person feel more confident so that next time they can do that on a more daily basis.
And also, please correct me if I'm wrong. No one is the same, okay? I know that women expect every single man to be very confident, a decision maker, a leader, and everything. But not all men are like that. Maybe he likes you to take the lead. And maybe you should have noticed that when you were dating, the early days. Mm-hmm. And then see for yourself that maybe he's a guy who likes,
he's more laid back.
Yeah, take a day, take each day at a time, and good. Yes, you can do that. I don't mind. Whatever you decide is good. You need to see, maybe that's the case. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe he's a bad guy. He's probably having some confidence issues, or he's genuinely like that.
That's the point. And if that's how the person is, then of course with your motivation, with your help, maybe he will become more of a leader. But maybe not the leader you have in your mind that he can be. But remember, nobody's perfect. Perhaps he has other great qualities. Invest in those. And I'm sure that's how you make a relationship better, is you cultivate the good qualities and you increase them, you make them more noticeable in the relationship.
But whatever situation is, whatever the situation may be, if you find that he's a more peaceful kind of guy, don't destroy him. Let him be. Mm-hmm. If you're not happy with who he is, people can't change people. Mm-hmm. So don't make him feel bad. Don't make him feel bad about who he is, because this is who he is.
Motivation can do a lot.
Exactly.
Remember that, okay? Now we've come to the end of our program. If you want to get in touch and send us your questions, then do so on Love Talk Show, questions@lovetalkshow.tv, or get in touch via Facebook, and we'll be glad to answer all your questions here on the program. Okay? Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.